Yuri Simoes.
No other fight's better than Yuri Simoes right now. The guy has 2 ADCC gold medals. I plan to match his intensity, match his strength, and ultimately beat his technique.
I know he's very athletic. He's got a good top game, very good wrestling. That's all I really know about him.
Yuri definitely has a style that has yet to evolve. I'm ready to lay it all on the line and show you guys all the techniques that I've been working on and how diverse my game really is.
Because I have a great heart for competition, I feel like that has helped me to push and overcome and win some of my toughest battles.
They call me the bloody belt splitter. You know about that? Yuri Simoes, the longest.
I don't know who gave that name to him.
I really, truly do think I'm just out of his class.
I definitely don't want to wish you good luck to my opponent. I think you guys don't want to miss that one.
Ladies and gentlemen, live exclusively on Flow Grappling. Introducing first to the mat, representing Kyotera, out of the blue corner, the two-time ADCC champion, Yuri Simoes.
Two-time ADCC champion Yuri Simoes returns to action here. Who's number one for only his second Nogi grappling match since 2019.
And he is fired up. He's been looking at Nicky Rod all week, size him up. They got Chippy on the podcast, and they are ready to go.
They absolutely did. Yeah, there was, as we said earlier, a healthy amount of mutual respect. But there was an edge. There was an edge to their exchange, to their interaction. And, man, Yuri, you push him, he's going to push back. And he feels that Nick Rodriguez has pushed him with some of the comments that he's made.
Yeah, they're both natural-born competitors. That's what happens.
And his opponent, making his way to the mat out of the red corner, representing Danaher Death Squad, the Black Belt Slayer, Nicky Rod!
Nick Rodriguez broke onto the Nogi. Nick Rodriguez broke onto the Nogi grappling scene in a huge way in 2019 by taking the silver medal at the ADCC Championships, a breakout performance that earned him the nickname the Black Belt Slayer. And as you can see here, closely matched.
Man, they are fired.
Head to head in the center of the mat. Look at this, head to head before the referee can even get things underway.
Step back a little bit, both of you.
Number 4 ranked against the number 6 ranked heavyweight, Nick Rodriguez. Number 4, Simoes immediately pulls guard. I mean, that's a smart strategy to go up against a wrestler like Nick Rodriguez, right?
Nicky Rod wasting no time pressuring in there to Simoes. But yeah, a lot was said about the wrestling this week, but Yuri was quick to remind everyone at home, this is a grappling match, and he wants to show off all of his skills, and he thinks that he's much better than Nicky and everywhere else.
I mean, you run the numbers, and the stats tell a compelling story. Because Yuri Simoes is the 2-time ADCC champion. He won 88 kilos in 2015. He returned. 2017, he did it in the next weight class up, under 99. 2 gold medals in a row, really done. But he did so by being an extremely effective wrestler. And on paper, his ADCC resume is much better than that of Rodriguez. But let's be honest, Nicky Rod, a fantastic talent. 24 years of age. He's basically only been on the grappling scene since, oh my word, look at that, a guard pass early in this match here. Less than a minute into this match, and Nicky Rod has already passed the guard and is onto the back, looking for the back.
Great recovery from Simoes, but what an impressive pass early from Nicky Rod, and I still think he has that body lock going. It's difficult to see, the hands are clasped.
That's a huge statement right there, this early in the match, to say to you, hey, you're an ADCC champion, but I can't pass your guard. And this guy's only really been grappling since 2018. That is phenomenal.
Yeah, that's a wake-up call for Yuri, that he cannot be caught sleeping out there, because Nicky Rod will take it all the way home.
Well, it's a different energy, right? It's a totally different energy. And, you know, maybe Yuri, who's grown up in the grappling arena, of course, you know, in jiu-jitsu, we know that you can relax. There's a period where you can take your foot off the gas and you can feel out the position. Wrestlers have that burned into them from a very, very early age that you never stop. The hustle, you just keep going, you keep pressuring. And Nick, I mean, that's kind of what has been his secret, right? He comes in and he pours the pressure on his opponents, and it's been one of the secrets to his success.
Yeah, he just puts the pace on guys. One thing that we should highlight, too, is his teammates this week, throughout the week, Ethan Krelson and Oliver Taza, have just remarked that since moving down to Puerto Rico, Nicky Rod has become a different animal, a different machine, constantly evolving, adding new elements to his game. And I mean, that guard passing is a great example of that.
It's not fair to call him just a wrestler anymore, right? It's absolutely unfair to do so. When you've been training under the close supervision of John Danaher, when you have been sharing the mat with the likes of Gordon Ryan, Nicky Ryan, Gary Tona, and all the killers that they have down there in Dorado, Puerto Rico, there is absolutely no option. You will get better. You will develop your jiu-jitsu skill. And look at this. I mean, from here, this is a very different Nick Rodriguez to that which we have seen in past no-gi grappling matches.
Yeah, and I think some of that is, we mentioned his relentless pace, but also adding some patience to that, committing to a strategy. Something Nicky Rod has done before is relying heavily on the scramble, but then maybe you run into somebody that's a little bit more strategic and losing to that. We're seeing a lot of strategy at hand right now.
Yeah, I mean, you know, if you're able to combine that raw physicality, if you're able to combine that explosiveness that he has, that everybody remarks that he's one of the most explosive grapplers that they've ever trained with, that they've ever felt, and if you're able to develop that jiu-jitsu nuance, oh my word, look at this, another close guard pass here. He's almost into the mount here, Chase. Look at this, incredible work here. Strong guard recovery skills there from Simoes, but that, again, another statement, this body lock pass serving Rodriguez extremely well.
Yeah, the hip flexibility on Rodriguez is absolutely insane. I mean, he's so nimble for a massive human being.
Nimble is a great way to describe it. 240 pounds, 6'3". Nick Rodriguez, I mean, we know what a phenomenal athlete he is. And they gave him the nickname, the Black Belt Slayer. Simoes mentioned earlier in his promo that he doesn't appreciate that nickname. He doesn't really, he's not a fan of that nickname, but it was hard earned. He beat 2 ADCC champions in a row en route to getting into that final in 2019. He beat Roberto Cyborg and he beat Orlando Sanchez, two of the biggest names in the game.
Yeah, let's remind people that Nicky Rod is still just a purple belt out there, technically.
Technically, yeah. That's really where the argument belts don't matter in no-gi comes to play.
Simoes really framing hard on the face there, Nicky Rod.
Yeah, forcing our referee, Gabriel Martins, to take
Nicky Rod.
Yeah, forcing our referee, Gabriel Martins, to take a very close look at that. But that, nothing illegal there. Absolutely nothing untoward. No breaking of the rules. But it just goes to show that that Simoes is fighting hard to just keep that pressure off him right now. And I think here, this space that he has in being able to maintain distance a little bit better, he's not carrying Rodriguez's weight anymore. He doesn't have to worry about that awesome pressure, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, Rodriguez is right back in on it now. He's really happy with the way this body lock has been playing out, and I don't blame him. He's really proven to be successful. Simoes has not really had many offensive actions from the guard or anywhere on top at this point.
No.
I think he needs to maybe adjust his strategy slightly, because Nicky Rod has really just taken it to him as far as the pacing and attacks are concerned here.
But I mean, it's definitely a smart strategy to avoid going head-to-head in the wrestling exchange with somebody like Nick Rodriguez. And of course, you know, we saw Simoes immediately pull into guard, not even really making any grips. He just got straight in there and was, you know, happy to go into that seated guard. But I think he's maybe underestimated Nick Rodriguez's top game here, because I've said it before, I will say it again, is that Nick Rodriguez that we saw in 2019 and the Nick Rodriguez that we saw in action only once in 2020. He had one grappling match in the summer, and he will admit that he was out of condition. He wasn't that well trained, you know. It was in that difficult phase of the shutdowns where he wasn't really able to train as he normally would for a competition. Not the same Nick Rodriguez that we're seeing here right now.
Yuri cinching up a Kimura grip here. Dangerous move for someone like Nicky Rod, and Nicky almost makes him pay for it.
Out the back door, and Simoes up to his feet and forward. The Kimura grip from bottom, baiting Rodriguez to step over into top position. So even though he's been fighting from bottom, and yes, he's been, at the moment, just maintaining that distance and doing his best to keep the pressure off, just goes to show that Yuri Simoes can fire back in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, that was a smart strategy to get out of danger with that body lock, but Nick right back in on it. And Yuri's going to have to address the body lock pass because it's really shutting down his offense.
You know, a huge factor as well that we need to mention is the fact that, yes, Simoes has been relatively inactive since ADCC 2019. In fact, he's only had 2 grappling matches in that entire time. Of course, he injured his knee very badly at that ADCC Championships. He went off, he had surgery to fix that. And then, of course, 2020 was focused almost entirely on his MMA debut. He went to one championship in Asia. He had his first MMA fight. Of course, that takes, you know, supreme focus. You know, you cannot really balance jiu-jitsu and MMA that successfully, especially if you want to make your debut. But, you know, he came back. He's had 1 gi match. He's had 1 no gi match. And it's great to see him back in this no gi world. But he said to me, he's like, hey, man, come on. Just because I've been training MMA, don't think that I haven't been training grappling. Of course I have.
Yeah, he's spent quite a bit of time out in Austin, Texas, I feel like, throughout 2020 and into 2021, training with the Tackets and Cody Steele there at Checkmat. Kyle really calling for action here as the guard opens up for him for the first time in this match, where Nicky Rod does not have a body lock, basically. And I think Kyle wants you to take advantage of that.
So we're approaching the halfway mark in this 15-minute match. We're about 7.5 minutes in. And, you know, these big men, you know, it's often the concern, isn't it, is that do they have the gas tanks to go for full 15 minutes? Hey, you know, we've seen Yuri do double overtimes at ADCC. And look at this once again, that beautiful body lock pass. Putting on the pressure here. He could be going around to the back or to the mount here, but this is bad news. He's got those knees stapled. Beautiful leg work here. Will he move around to the side?
Yeah, great stapling there from Nicky Rod as he moves into perhaps side control, but again, obstacle right back on top of Yuri and weigh on him some more.
I mean, great guard recovery there from Yuri Simoes, but that pressure from Rodriguez, impressive is the very least I can say about it. Phenomenal, and requires, I think, we're going to have to take a very close look at this afterwards. I think we can study a lot from this passing system that he's been using.
Heavy knee slide, but maybe stepping over into the saddle
Back step into the leg lock. But mixes it up into this front headlock right there. Look at that, mixing up that lower body with the upper body attacks, keeping your opponent guessing. This, of course, one of the principal tenets of John Danaher's system is that the lower body attacks can open up the upper body and vice versa. I think that you can see taking a deep breath is Simoes from bottom here. You can see just kind of taking a big gasp of air and kind of thinking, okay, what do I do next from here? Because this pressure right here, you know, this sometimes you can see a guy from top with his head down, buried in the chest, with his you know, his elbows tight, and they're taking a break. Rodriguez is not taking a break here. He's putting on the pressure.
Yeah, you're not watching the Nicky Rod match at hand if that's what you're thinking. Nicky Rod again. Nicky Rod match at hand if that's what you're thinking. Nicky Rod again in a good spot, but Yuri now has an underhook with his hands clasped, which may break things up a little bit for him, but
yeah, that shoulder crunch is a decent weapon, but look at that, just rips it out, and I think sweat a factor at this point too.
Just under 6 minutes left, plenty of time on the clock, and Yuri has to really get busy. He's looking a little tired, a little dogged out there, but he's gonna have to turn this around in a big way if he wants to take home the W.
Now we can hear Kyle Terra in the corner of Yuri Simoes saying, you've got to make him tired, Yuri. You've got to make him tired. With 5 minutes left, I mean, it's possible. You know, you start, you know, if Yuri has conserved enough energy to go hard in his final 5 minutes and you know, he's able to put Rodriguez into a bad position, there's still plenty of opportunity to win this match, but you got to put Rodriguez down. You've got to put him into a bad position, and he's the kind of guy who just doesn't accept that. The most success that we've seen from those who have been able to beat him in no-gi grappling is generally to get underneath the legs, to invert underneath and to go for to go out the back and to either score a leg lock or come into a dominant position. But right now, this upper body exchange really is the defining kind of trait of this match so far. And again, trying to go for this shoulder crunch control, but I just feel like, look at the leg work from Rodriguez, the way he's able to kind of deal with those hooks of Simoes. It's taken away half of his guard. He's only got upper body control. Simoes isn't really able to use his legs as levers.
Yeah, Simoes has got to be getting frustrated here. Interesting to note that Nicky Rod only has 1 submission loss on his record. That came back to Kynan at a fight-to-win match shortly after ADCC 2019. So it's been a long time, and it means his defense. Look at this pass. Oh, my goodness. Nicky Rod's passing is just something else tonight.
Some of the skill that I've been most impressed about so far is about how that Rodriguez is not forcing the pass, that he's very patient here in getting the position, and that he is very, very calmly just riding the position to score the pass. And look at this again, he's looking to move around the legs and move over the legs. And this leg versus leg game, it's not the kind of thing you expect to see from a wrestler, I'll be honest, you know. Usually wrestlers are very upper body focused when they grapple in no-gi, but it's rare to see somebody using their legs in such a cognizant way. Oh, we could see another guard pass, and here it is, moving into the side control once again. Now he's exposing Simoes' back. Will he get the back?
This is a perilous situation here for Yuri. Make or break, really, if he can defend the turtle, and he does. He turns into Nicky Rod. Wise choice, does not give it the back, and is able to reset his open guard here.
I think Simoes is smart. I think Simoes is very smart not to give up too much in those escapes. He knows that if he gets up to his knees and if he tries too hard to escape and to recover position, then Nick Rodriguez is extremely good at riding that movement and getting the back, almost much like Andrew Tackett did earlier this evening. But then, you know, you see Rodriguez, man, I gotta say, this is the most patient Nick Rodriguez I think I've ever seen in a no-gi grappling match.
Yeah, it's definitely a big part of his success tonight. Committed to a game plan that is working for him. He's nearly there several times as far as maybe obtaining mount or the back.
And he's able to get this body lock at will. At will.
Yeah, maybe that's that history as a wrestler, diving in for a shot. He's not afraid to really close the distance in a rapid manner and dive in there and get it done. And it's working out for him in a big way.
Originally hailing from Clayton, New Jersey, now based out of Dorado, Puerto Rico. He says that he, you know, of course, likes the climate, likes the weather, but he also doesn't miss the endless commuting and traveling back and forth to New York City, where he would train in Manhattan with John Danaher and the crew. So very appreciative of the relocation there to the Caribbean. But you know, he started wrestling at age 13. Age 13, you know, and since then, he's broken out into the no-gi grappling ranks as one of the most dangerous no-gi grapplers in the world in a very short space of time. It's scary to think, you know, what is his potential? You know, where can he go? You know, now he's learning these nuanced techniques.
I mean, he's in a perfect position, right? He's just 24 years old, so much time. He's in a perfect camp, and seems to be extremely dedicated, and he's showing off the work right now. I mean, he's doing a great job against Yuri. Yuri's had the work right now. I mean, he's doing a great job against Yuri. Yuri's had almost zero offense in this match, which is not something that I think anyone would have expected coming in.
Yes, I hesitate to use the word shut down, but it is definitely one-way traffic in this match, and Yuri really has only been defending the actions of Nick Rodriguez. He's not really been able to initiate any attacks. Wow, okay, we've got a big slip here. Seems as the mat got wet there. And I mean, this stage, over 14 minutes into this match, of course, these guys are definitely very slippery. Once again, Simoes sits down the guard, and Rodriguez straight in on that body lock again. Could score another pass here in these final 40 seconds. Simoes manages to recover that half guard as a position that he definitely favors and feels very comfortable in. But man, I've got to say, Rodriguez, his hustle, his work rate, his use of this body lock passing system that he's unveiled here tonight at Who's Number One. I gotta say, as we count down the final 20 seconds in this match, if it is going to the judges' scorecards. But no, a final leg attack here from Simoes, not out of the game just yet. Rodriguez rips out. Yeah, dying seconds chase. I think this one's in the bag.
Good awareness from Rodriguez to avoid the last gasped attempt from Yuri Simoes. And I think the story of this match is that diving body lock passing entry. I mean, he just closes so much distance, such a wide range for that pass.
The rules dictated that he couldn't remove his shirt during the match, but he definitely popped the top there at the end. The judges, it's the red corner, Nick Rodriguez.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner in the red corner, Nicky Rod!
Very impressive, very composed. And Chase, I'd like to say, very mature performance from Nick Rodriguez, who at this stage in his career has proved that he's not just athletic, that he's not just explosive, that he has got now a growing level of technique to complement those physical attributes. And I got to say, that's a warning shot across the bows of the heavyweight ranks.
Yeah, Nicky Rod isn't going anywhere. The man is primed for success. And like you said, patient, able to execute on an excellent game plan, and looking the best ever tonight, best we've ever seen.
Yeah, the pressure from top was relentless. The forward motion and just that body lock pass, the defining trait of this match. Nick Rodriguez. This is a different grappler. I've got to say that I've never seen you fight like this before. You definitely unveiled something different here tonight at Who's Number One.
Yeah, I'm just a pro bowler still, man. Trying to show some diversity in my game. You know, been working on the passing a lot from top, and yeah, I'm happy that I could secure a couple minute successes in this match and really show you guys the evolution of Nicky Rod.
Evolution, that's a very interesting word because, of course, you broke onto the scene 2019 with your silver medal at ADCC, and you went out there basically as a rookie grappler with a strong wrestling background. Now, I got to say, you do not look the same as you did when you won that ADCC silver medal. This is a different Nick Rodriguez.
Everybody says, oh, he won because he's a wrestler. Yeah, I'm a wrestler. But guess what? Your boy got some jits in the tank, you feel me? So today, I did no takedowns. I did all jiu-jitsu, all passing from top, successful passing from top. I'm happy you guys are here to witness it.
Now, Nick, you know, we saw in the interviews yesterday, the press conference, you said that you had something in store, and it seemed to be that you studied Yuri very closely ahead of this match. Of course, going up against a two-time ADCC champion, the game plan, I mean, it looked to me that it was executed to perfection. Yeah, I actually anticipate him to wrestle me first, but he sat guard, fortunate for him, because it probably would have been a highlight reel, sensational takedowns, you know what I mean? So it's good that he sat down and enabled me to show a little bit more jiu-jitsu and just, you know, like I said, the evolution of Nicky Rod, man. What did it feel like competing with a rash guard for the first time in your career? You know, I put the rash guard on because I was like, all right, let me actually do some jiu-jitsu this time, try to get a sub and try to slow it down. You know, I need more friction. If you really do need a little bit more friction for jiu-jitsu, you know, if you're wrestling for the takedowns, you can go shirtless and kind of wing it that way, but you need a little bit of friction if you want some real jiu-jitsu success. Well, a very composed performance, a new chapter in the career of Nick Rodriguez. Any final words before you get out of here? Oh, Yuri wanted to do a wrestling match against Nicky Rod. He was fairly confident, saying he could take me down in a wrestling match. Take me down in a wrestling match. The thing is, right, I'm the most explosive grappler in jiu-jitsu. At the same time, I'm not wearing shoes, so I'm half the speed I'd be if I had wrestling shoes on. Take that into consideration. Over 200 wrestling matches, it'd be a true nightmare for Yuri. So if he wants to wing it, do a wrestling match, maybe some NCAA rules, I think it'd be a fun time. Nick Rodriguez, twice as fast as you are now. That's a scary thought. Nick, congratulations on your performance, and thanks a lot for putting it on the line here at Who's Number One. Thanks for having me, y'all. Okay, coming up next, of course, the main